Hello, everyone. Welcome. I welcome you to NDISCO'S Village Meeting podcast. This is episode 8, series 2. This is our podcast on everything about Africa, society, and culture. And just like every topic and every aspect that one discusses, one starts with um, the area where one knows better than anywhere else. And I will always give an example. Um, if it's for the homestead, where I come from, starting from my community of Mbise Nation and into Imo State, into Nigeria, and the rest of Africa. But also, most importantly, talk about my ethnicity, about my heritage, which is Igbo. So, again, when we talk about culture in Africa, it's not a one word, um, uh, that means just one thing. It is one word that it has so many components to it, whether it's our manners, our, you know, religion, in that case, the traditional African religion, the food we eat, our celebrations, and much, much more. If you look at the past episodes from series 1 to now, we have all touched almost all aspects of our culture, and there is more, a whole lot more. But this time around, I decided to go back to our food items, our way of eating. Now, um, this topic and the next one following it that I will talk about in the next episode came about. Um, I have, some of you who know me very well know I talk to the young ones a whole lot. And actually, a few of them traveled to Nigeria this holiday period during the festivities. And they came back excited. And when they come back excited like that, they want to talk to Auntie about all the adventures. And this particular one actually they were talking to me, she and her friend. They were excited about all the new food items that they tested, they have never tested before. And this is for one of them, the first time of going home to Nigeria, the other one that the second time. So they had read my topic on Erigwara, which means, for the rest of you who don't know, in the rest of the world, Christmas is one day. But when you go to Nigeria, actually in Igbo land, it is a week-long affair. And so Erigwara means you go from door to door, visiting friends and relatives. And as you go, you eat, and there's a lot of merriment. So this is what some of them in diaspora have never witnessed till they go visiting the homestead. So this time around, they came back and talked about the items that they ate. And they keep mentioning these two items. One of them is the oil bean, what we call the African oil bean, oba. In Igbo land, we call it oba, and some people call it opaka. But the English name is African oil bean. That's what they call it. And the scientific name is Pentaclethra macrophylla. And you can call it whichever way you want to call it. But this is what um, they brought to my knowledge, that they saw this everywhere. They tested it, and they talked about how it was presented everywhere they went. And they wanted to know more about the significance of that, Why is everybody taking that? And it's not even just taken as food. Some people, they have it as snacks, and then they bring other aspects of food, either they swallow or rice or anything else, yam. But this oba is always presented first. So I wanted to share more because I asked them, what do you think about it? What do you think it does? They didn't have much answer. And, um, you know, um, they're asking me, that means they feel comfortable talking about it. But I also asked them to go talk to their parents about it, because sometimes even within communities there's a little bit of difference in preparation and all that. So let's get into it a little bit more and know what goes on. So uba, or African oil bean, as they call that, opaka in some area, is a tropical fruit crop that belongs to the legume family. It doesn't, it really is a big tree that grows approximately 6 meters in girth. So it's really big enough to form a big trunk of tree, and the height is considerably also up there. When you see, and I will show you picture of, that's why I put this in YouTube now, so you can see the picture of these trees, especially for the young ones who don't normally go to where these things are or see them in real life, except the finished product or the byproducts. They might recognize this either driving through some of the village areas or some other areas. So this is why I describe this a little bit and show pictures of what they look like. They come in long pods, and the seeds in them are a little bit shiny, and some of them are black as well. And we will see pictures of what they look like. The good thing is that Oba is found in different areas of Africa. It's not just in Igbo land, despite the fact that it's consumed mostly by the Igbo people. Other people have it. So the assignment for you is to ask in your area if such exists and what it is called and where you come from, whether you are Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, from Akwa Ibom or anywhere, whether you are from Malawi or Timbuktu. This is an assignment for you young ones to find out more about this product. What I do is to share awareness, and you go do the rest of the homework and find out some more. So the shredded oil bean seed, and I will share with you how it's done. When it's prepared, it's really delicious and prepared with ingredients that we're also going to share. It is a traditional dish for many, served in events and ceremonies. Yeah. But there is a question. This is one of those products that is not eaten raw the moment you get it from down from the trees. It must undergo some detailed fermentation processes in order to rid them of toxins. They have toxins and they can kill if not well prepared. So why is Obaka, sorry, or Uba cherished in Igbo land? Every bit of this oil bean tree product is useful. That is one thing about, you will hear this echo of everything sounding alike from the trees or from the forest or the products of Africa. They almost do the same things. And that's how rich we have some of these um, trees and the seeds and fruits that we have. And the good thing is that both the seeds, leaves, stems, bags, trunks, every part of these trees that we mentioned, including their roots, are very useful. Some of them, serve medicinal purposes. Some are consumed as food, and some are even made into commercial aspects and shared or sold to the others. So the good thing about Uba and we're going to see why, is that it's so really good that a lot of researches are going on Oba, or African oil bean, or waka, to see what the outcomes are. And what I'm going to share with you, the schools of thoughts, um, what they have said about this product from their research, and it's not just me telling you, but maybe our ancestors knew something we don't we didn't know, but now are finding out the reasons why they consumed this and planted those. So these are some of the identified um, sure, some of these identified benefits of uba, ubaka, or the oil bean. Many, have shared that it minimizes the risk of cancer because it sounds like a roughage, really. Um, so to maintain good health, that's part of that. Ashes from Obaka pots, when it's really burnt or reduced to ashes, can serve as cooking salt in some areas. Some West African countries do that. Dried Uba seeds can be ground into powdered flour for making bread. In some places in Africa, they do that. Um, in Igbo land, one thing I know is when you have prepared or gotten rid of the toxins and prepared the shredded uba seeds and it's gone through fermentation, items like, stockfish, we call it morocco, nkwobi, which are meats that are also mixed up with sauces, porridge yam, and even some kind of shredded cassava product, which Igbo called abacha, are used in preparing this dish. Sometimes, so the dish doesn't come by itself; it's also prepared with other delicacies. The trunk of the tree of the oba tree has been known to serve as timber for structural work. So they're cut down and they are strong, like, not as strong as the Iroko, some say, but, they are used in building. The branches can serve for supporting other growth. So when you have tendrils of yam or vegetables like ugu growing, the branches of this opaka also helps because when it's put to the ground, it doesn't like rot overnight. Um, the It has anti-helminthic properties, which means when it's consumed, it could help in the treatment or destruction of parasitic worms. And that's the back of it. The bark, BARK, is what people have found that if is and that is the medicinal aspect that we're talking about. So some areas do that. They even use that when they do feeds for animals, um, to add to that, and it gets rid of the worms in the animals. Some even use the emptied brownish cells. When we look at the pods now, you will see that they are hard. So the main edible seed is gotten out of these harder outer shells. And these outer shells are the ones that are used in making jewelry or making beads, traditional dancing costumes, and all that. So nothing really goes to waste in the oba tree and the branches and trunks and all that we've mentioned. The leaves, stems, and bark of African oil bean can combine with other roots to treat gastrointestinal diseases. Again, not only at Nigeria, but some West African countries also do use this to get rid of that. It's a rich source for controlling overweight and obesity. So again, because the properties serve as we call it African salad. Some say that, but we say salad is salad, but oba is oba, obaka is obaka. So because of that property that is similar to roughage, or it's called roughage, it helps in reducing weight because then it helps in digestion and expelling of unwanted products in the body. Smoke from the burnt African oil bean leaves can also be used to treating convulsion. That is also a part of research that has been done. The woods and leaves can serve as mulch. Again, nothing is thrown away. Um, and some have observed that it contains amino acids, minerals, proteins, fatty acids, and all when they add it to the animal feeds, and especially when they're fortified. The wood, again, it's really strong and it lasts, it ignites fast. So the woods as used in fire as firewood and can also be used in generating charcoals. Some have said it lowers the cholesterol level. And again, this is where caution has to be used because for any item, when you put a lot of ingredients that are um, fatty, you can introduce more into a simple food when you add some other ingredients. So when we say it lowers cholesterol, you got to be also cautious not to overuse any other components that are being used to prepare this delicate dish. Um, Again, last and not the least, they have also found that it's a source of saponins which have been proven to reduce plasma cholesterol, like we said. Um, but we need to know that saponins are uh, toxic. So that's part of why this product has to be really processed, fermented, and all that to clear it of toxins. Um, so how do we prepare obaka or uba, the African oil bean? The intention here now is not to give you details. I will always refer you to the internet. Google does a lot of things. You will see many people in there have done a good job of showing you how to prepare step by step. That's not what I am here to do. I'm here to create awareness of what else this can do for you and why we should go back to basics of consuming our products that we have already on our lands because they are really as good as all those processed foods that we go buying because they are foreign to us. The good thing is that it's not even only in the heartland. When you go, people in diaspora in some regions where they have African stores, they also do a good job of going to buy what we grew up at home with. And our children are doing a good job of eating these products where they can. So this is creating awareness to them that whatever their parents are trying to make them eat here that are indigenous to us, the Igbos, the Igbo person, or indigenous to Nigeria or to Africa, it's not bad. So preparing the African oil bean seed um, requires you cracking, like I'm going to show you a picture of it, cracking the hard shell of this seed gotten out of the pod. And when you see them, they're shiny. They get boiled for a long time to soften them. They're cut into thin strips and soaked. The soaking gets the the toxins out. Before they are either dried or wrapped in green leaves to ferment them for days so that they are softened to be added to dishes or to be prepared as is. Some of us had the privilege of having our grandmothers or the elderly around us who showed us how to prepare. They even pluck, cook, or boil, and then slice, because there are really steps to doing this before you get to the edible part. How to even slice it before you start cutting it, or else you won't get the finesse or the fine aspect of uba. Sometimes most people don't like to eat it as is, but the flavor comes out more when you make this prepare what we call ungo, which is the sauce where potash is, you could call that potassium, but I'm not sure if it's potassium, but it's something that really helps the sauce uh, um, get its drawy or yellowy color, and the consistency is a little bit thick. This sauce called ungo is combined with red palm oil, and others. Sometimes people add crayfish, stockfish, meat, dried fish, and to share with you that the products nowadays has been modified. People add so much more to them than our mothers used to do. But it's always good. And when this is consumed as snacks, it really goes well with palm wine or hot drinks or soft drinks or even water. So there are varieties of this dish. Some will combine it with garden egg, which we in Igbo land call afufa. Some will add kola nut, orji, which we talked about earlier. And again, um, yams can be added. People do that. And whichever, makes you happy, eat it that way. And in my Mbise nation, my community, we also add it to soups. And one of those popular one that I love so much is what we call araga. Araga is an Mbise dish that's, I don't know if anybody else cooks it. It's okra, vegetable, and uba added, and it's really good and used with swallow. The processed tuber are tied in airtight green leaves, but nowadays we have them also dried and put in plastic, little plastic bags, and sold or preserved in the freezers. We must note that when freshly sliced tuber are prepared, they are usually grayish white. The fresh one cut is normally white, but when they stay or tend to um, be stored longer time, they start turning into browner color as they age. So, like with every other food, we need to be cautious. Um, when we consume oba, ubaka, African oil bean. Studies have revealed that unfermented African bean contains traces of poisonous alkaloid substance. Like I said, it has toxins. So you got the preparation must be really carefully done. The seeds contain traces of growth depressant, which are capable of producing mycotoxins in foods. Okay, and all these could be neutralized if and when properly cooked and allowed to ferment. Again, I'll go with my disclaimer because I am not I'm not a physician, I'm not a nutritionist or a herbal expert. So consult these people before you consume this item for the first time, or if you're not familiar with it, you have allergies, or you really not know how much to consume. I have witnessed people who consume so much and they throw out, because anytime you overeat, actually in anything, you could have that occurring. And somebody like, again, many food don't people don't some foods don't go with their system. So if you try it, it doesn't work for you. And some people have shared that it gives them a lot of gas or bloating. So if you start experiencing any of those, please consult your doctor or physician or anybody else who knows better. Okay. So this here, um, I'm sharing with you the how Opaka goes from stage to stage or Oba. So the A, when you look at the letter A, is the tree with the pods. So for those of you, the younger ones especially, who don't know what it looks like, this is what it looks like. Unfortunately, most of you may not be seeing them anymore because it's becoming really endangered. As people build homes, they start cutting down these trees, and they don't replant them that much anymore. So what we are encouraging is, as you think about all the consumption and agricultural aspects that we are beginning to focus on, it's good to also remember that these trees that produce some of the things we eat are going in extinct because um, they are being cut down without replacing them. So we should also start planting baby trees that will grow up to give us more of these products in the future. So letter B is, when they are ready to be cut down from the trees, that they are matured now. This is how the pods are. Each of the seeds on C come out of these pods in B. I told you they were shiny, and inside these hard shells, you will find a soft uba seed. So what you're seeing here is not the product that people eat. The outside coat is thick and strong enough to be made into beads or something, but the inner aspect is what we cut up. The D is people are beginning to sell um, those, like those in C, they put them in plastic bags in D to sell them in markets. And E is that soft aspect that I said you get out of the hard shell. This is the sliced ones, shredded ones. When they are fresh, F is when they have spent a few days, they change color. Um, C, I mean, the letter G to the right or top is um, some of the Fs now being they dried and they are packed in plastic bags, for commercial purposes for sale. H is when you have E, those are the freshly sliced ones. They are put in leaves like you see in H and wrapped up in small quantities like that or bigger ones. And this is where they are allowed to rest and ferment before they are put in any dishes. The letter I is an example of a delicacy, one of those delicacies are already prepared. This is the oba that has sauce in it or ungo prepared with meat. The J at the bottom to your right is now the adulterated form of this oba. People now are putting um, um, uh, leaves, some kind of vegetable leaves onto them and onions and all that. I will share that our grandmothers maybe will put stockfish on that, one big one for people to share. But these are now the modern ways people are doing that. Letter K is showing you the ones that are combined with yam. So people that is already prepared with ngo. And the last letter L showing you the palm wine that um, people consume the oba with. So I hope I have been able to just share a glimpse of a little bit about UKPAKA. My young ones, those from other parts of Africa and those from other parts of Nigeria or Igbo land, I would ask you to go the extra step. Find out what this is called in your area. Find out if there are more benefits to them than I mentioned, and how you encourage people to consume them because they are really nutritious and um, a part of our lives, our culture. And so we don't lose our culture. We got to go back to these basics now that we know that they are not bad for us. We're going to consume them and start to consume them if we haven't. Okay? So this will end our talk on this particular food item. We will go on to the next in the next episode to talk about the other item that my curious and my uh, proteges went home to taste and they can't stop talking about it. So thank you very much for tuning in again. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if all this that we are doing interests you. And I thank you for keep giving me ideas of what you would like to hear or see. This is Dr. Maslin M.OPARAOJI talking to you all. Thank you and have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.